internet. This is a sideshow SFX look inspired by Pasqual Piñón. He is the man who had a tumor growing out of his head and he attached a wax face onto it, so he became known as the two-headed man. This is obviously not as intense as Pasqual's, but it is fast, it is affordable, and it is weird. I'm starting off with liquid latex and cotton balls, and in addition you're also going to be needing some makeup sponges you don't care about, and I love using clay tools with stuff like this. So on a flat surface, first I'm going to dab on a couple of layers of liquid latex. This is going to give a good base that's going to make it pretty easy to remove this face without ripping. So now I'll unroll some cotton balls and I'm going to put like a noodle down with some liquid latex to start on the nose. You're going to put the initial line down and then you're going to put kind of a smaller rounded tip for the end of the nose. You're going to be dipping into your liquid latex a lot just to keep this stuff moldable. I also made sure that I kind of pushed into the bottom of the nose to make room for nostrils. And then just two tiny little balls for the eyeballs. A noodle for the top of the mouth. And then another noodle for the bottom of the mouth. I feel like whenever I see photos of someone from a sideshow and they have like a second face on their face, usually what makes it kind of disturbing for me is when the mouth is kind of hanging open and they have a neutral expression. So that's kind of what I was going for. And then there's noodles for the eyelid and for the bottom of the eye. I then put down a couple of small strips just so we have a little bit of cheekbones. And then you're gonna make some kind of squarish balls for the teeth. I also put some noodles on top of the teeth so it doesn't just look like the teeth are outside of the mouth. I was a little bit worried about the edge of the face being too thin and ripping, so before I started to blow dry, I did another layer really quickly of liquid latex before using a blow dryer on alternating hot and cool settings. Then I used a Mehron translucent powder to powder off the heck of it. If liquid latex can, it will immediately fuse to itself, so you want to basically smother your whole workspace with powder. Then I'm using a smaller fluffy brush and slowly pulling up the face. Constantly powdering because again, the latex on the bottom hasn't been powdered yet, and if it has a chance to fuse to itself, it will. Yeah, just more powder, just all of it. That's fine, all of it. So I'm using an alcohol activated paint. This is a Skin Illustrator Flesh Tone Onset palette, and I'm using 91% alcohol. I used a makeup sponge with the bottom picked off to kind of make this patchiness, and I used kind of a generic flesh tone. I also used white Mehron paint for the eyes and the teeth, and then Mehron coral paint for the mouth, and Mehron dark brown for the eyes. And then Mehron black paint on a detail brush for the teeth and the mouth. Also the nostrils. I went back in with the coral and lined the inside of the eyes. And then a detail brush with that dark brown again for the eyebrows. I also like to do this where you just take some clear nail polish, this is from Dollar Tree, and I put it on the eyes and on the teeth to give them more of a shine. In person, it ended up making the eyes look a bit like they were oozing, but I feel like that kind of added to the unsettlingness. This is definitely unsettling, if it is nothing else. Then I took a brush with stiff bristles and I spattered on some dark brown paint. Whenever I'm worried about edges blending with something like this, I like adding texture because texture will help you conceal those edges. After checking the fit of the prosthetic, I trimmed the edges. My face is not as big as I thought it was. And then I'm using some Prosaide Cream and applying that to the back. After pressing down firmly, then I'm able to take care of the edges of this by taking a makeup sponge and lightly dabbing on some of the Prosaide Cream. Then I use liquid latex to kind of help blend the edges and further seal everything down. I used foundation on a foundation brush to kind of give myself a nice clean base to start to blend my skin into the little face. So this is the same alcohol paint that I'm dabbing on that I had used on the prosthetic. And I noticed that there are some yellow tones I wasn't quite matching, so I'm actually just straight up using a Mehron yellow water activated paint on a brush to try to add more of that yellow tint to my skin. This is the same dark brown that I'm using on my eyebrows that I used on the little face. And I'm using a pink eyeliner on the tops and bottoms of my eyes. This is the coral paint, the same paint that I used on the mouth, using it on my own. And then time for the spatter to, again, try to help blend the edges a bit. I decided just like a little dot of shine on the eyes would be kind of cool looking, so there it is. This has been PTBarpun for HalloweenMakeup.com. Whatever day it is that you're seeing this, I hope you're having a good one, and I will see you the next time I do video stuff.